What is abstraction?
Abstraction is nothing but hiding the implementation details
Mm-hmm.
and providing showing only the functionality.
Showing only the functionality. Very good. Okay. So can I have a constructor in abstract class?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a private methods? Can I have a private method in a abstract class? Can I create an object
Yes.
for the Can I create an object for the abstract class?
No, we can't.
No, cannot create. Okay. If I am not able to create a object to abstract class, so why should I have constructor in my abstract class?
We can create it through child class.
We can create through child class. Does it mean that I
Yeah,
can
and
create
if
object?
you
Does it mean that I can create object through child class? Does
so
it
yeah,
mean
the
that
child class it will force to create it will force.
it's not forced to create? Let's say in abstract
Okay.
class, if you have any properties, or you can call them as a state, or you can call them as instance variable. If you want to initialize those instance variable, if you want to initialize those instance variable from the child class through constructor, what you can do, you can call your parent class constructor using child class constructor by calling super, right? We cannot create object for the abstract classes. We cannot create object for abstract classes, right? So, okay, what is the purpose of the having a private method in the abstract class? What is the purpose of having a private method in abstract class? What is the purpose of having private method in abstract class? Except Sunil, I know Sunil, you know it. So let's others also answer it. Teja, Saraswati, Sai, Rohini, Nikesh, please guys. Masood, why should I have a private method? I mean, why in the sense I can keep, right? So I can keep a private method. Everyone will agree with me. In my abstract class, let me share my screen, guys. So then it will be make easy to let me tell. Let me know once you guys able to see my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, Veera.
Okay. So let me start my Eclipse. Okay, tell me. So I can keep a private method. So what is the purpose? Why? I mean, why it is allowing to keep a private method in it? If I keep a private method in abstract class, who will make use of that? If it is a private, child cannot call them directly. Child he cannot make use of that method directly because it is specific. Private, it is a private, it's not exposed to outside the class. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Veera.
Then who can call it? Okay, so if I have a private method in abstract class, that private method cannot get called in the child class, but the private method can call in the abstract class itself using public method. Using public method. Let's the Eclipse load. Let Eclipse load. I will show you that how it will get called. We have seen in the last class, but let's see that. It's loading. Look at this method. Look at this abstract test class. In this abstract test class, you have constructor. This is a constructor. We have a constructor. I have shown this. This is a constructor. This is the private method, right? This private method, anyway I cannot call in the child. Anyway I cannot use this private method in the child. So, but what it can be done, this private method can be called in the public method, in the display method, in the public method. I can call this private method in the this private method in the public method. Then this public method anyway I can call from anywhere because it's a public method. So I can call my public method. Look at guys here. I'm calling my public method. Can I directly click call private method? Can I directly call private method? No, it will not allow. So what was my method name? Print. This is the print is my private method. Print is my private method. Look at here. Can I call the print method here directly? No, you cannot call. It will say it cannot be visible. Not visible. What it is telling? This method private from the type abstract test is not visible. It means it is not allowed to access it. But the private methods can be accessed through public methods. Access in the sense you can call them. Okay. But if you call display method automatically, so we are calling a private method within the class. Within the class. It is not outside the class. It is a within the class. Okay, next we have discussed something about static installation block as well as instance installation block. What are they and who can tell me, who can explain me them? Who can explain me? What is the static installation block? What is the instance installation block? Harika, Anisha, Ganesh, Masood, anyone? Yeah, Sunil, go ahead. Saraswati?
Static installation block is the to initialize the static variables.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, that means after object creation it will execute.
After object creation it will execute. Okay. Then what is the static installation block? What is the static installation block?
SIBs are executed as soon as the class is loaded into JVM. So if you want to do anything before the main method, I mean like initialization or anything,
Mm-hmm.
so then we will put it in the SIB.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Good guys. So let's look at now. Using abstract classes, as we discussed yesterday, using abstract classes, we can achieve 0 to 100% of the abstraction. Correct? Using abstract classes, we can achieve 0 to 100% abstraction. But if I want to achieve 100% abstraction, I don't want my abstract class should not contain constructors, should not contain any other methods. It should contain only abstract methods. So what is the way? So using abstract classes, we can achieve 0 to 100%. So your abstract classes may have abstract method or may not. May have an abstract method or may not. So if you want to achieve 100% abstraction, there is something called interfaces. Interface. Interface. What is an interface? Anyone? Any idea before getting into this? Anyone can give me what is interface? If you guys heard about before somewhere here and there. What is interface? Sunil, Saraswati. Okay, so let me tell you what is interface. Interface is as similar as your class, which contains only which contains only static fields and abstract methods, which contains only static fields, I mean static constants. You cannot say even fields, them they are static constants, which contains static constants and methods only. What does that mean? Let me write an interface here. It looks interface, interface name, interface and interface name. Let's say here, let's say interface 1, I1, and which contains whatever you declare inside the interface, what are the variables you declare inside the interface. By default, they are constants. By default, they are constants. They are static final. They are final and static. You can say int, let's say int I equal to 100. It means this I value cannot be changed. This is a constant. Whatever the method you declare here, whatever the method you declare here, they are by default abstract. They are by default abstract. So using interfaces, we can achieve 100% abstraction. So your interface will not contain any other methods apart from abstract methods, and it will not contain anything else apart from static final variables, right? So using interfaces, we can achieve multiple inheritance as well. Multiple inheritance as well. How it is? Let's look at with an example. Let's create an interface. Let me close all of them. Let's create package new interface. You have to select interface, not the class. So before creating interface name, I'm creating something called interface demo. Can create interface demo. So if you guys remember when we discussed about naming convention, So interface names also looks like your class names, and your interface names are like adjectives. Interface names are like adjectives. So let's go and finish this. Interface, public, interface, and interface name. Your interface name and your class name should be, I mean, file name should be similar. Okay, if you're writing in a separate file, if you're writing in a same file, you can write it in your class name. You can take your public class name. Okay, and the interfaces, when they compile it, it will also create dot class files. They also create dot class files. So why we need interfaces? Can anyone tell me why we need interfaces? Why we need interfaces?
In, in Java, we are unable to extend more classes. That's why interfaces is came.
Okay, any other uh, uses?
The behavior, we can change the behavior.
Sorry, your voice is not clear. It's a garbled. I mean,
The
Sunil,
behavior, uh, behaviors, we can change different behaviors.
behaviors.
These different behaviors we can maintain.
We can maintain different behaviors. Okay. So what they're trying to say. So let me put in a very simple manner. What the Saraswati was trying to say. Using classes, we are not able to achieve multiple inheritance. What is a multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance means inheriting from multiple parents. Let's say class C, which is child, extends A comma B. This cannot be done. This cannot be possible in Java. Why? Because of the ambiguity. Let's say A has a method called print and B also has a method called print. When you say inside the C dot print, I mean your object, okay, C object. Let's say I'm also taking the C dot print, which method will get called? It's the ambiguity. It is not possible. So that's why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java using classes. So but let's assume that I have two different parents where I need to get the two different kind of behavior. So that's what where our Sunil is trying to say. So when I have a two different behaviors in two different places, I want to get the both the behaviors in my class, my child class. So how can I get it? So using interfaces we can do that. Using interfaces we can do that. So let me show you how we can achieve that. So the main purpose of the interfaces are the very first functionality to achieve the multiple inheritance, and also to get 100% abstraction. What is that? 100% abstraction. As of now, we have seen using abstract classes, we didn't get the 100% abstraction. So the abstract classes was having some blocks, it was having some methods, it was having some constructors. Even you can have a main method in the abstract class. Yes or no? Right? So, but that is not 100% abstraction. The class is trying to expose themselves by using the public non-static methods or non abstract methods, like I can say concrete methods. It is trying to expose itself by using constructors who can call from the child class, right? Which is not 100% abstraction. So if I want to achieve 100% abstraction, I will have to go with the interface. Whatever you declare in interface as in variables, they are by default they are by default final and static. What does it mean? It is a constant. It is a constant. Once you declare a variable in an interface, that value cannot be changed. Once you declare any method in the interface, even though you no need to specify here, by default they are abstract. Your compiler will keep behalf of you, it means by default. So when you compile this code, so you no need to keep a static final, or you no need to keep abstract, right? Public abstract. So what it will do, your compiler will keep behalf of you public public abstract for the methods. For the variables it will keep, you know, for variables it will keep final and static. Let's look at here. I'm going to declare something called int minimum value. I'm just saying here, let's say 3. Let's say 3, and I'm defining some configuration here. Let me define some method. Change conf. It should have at least some return type, right? It should have at least some return type. So now let's take a class who can provide the body for this class. Implement class. I can say yes, IMPL class. IMPL class means interface implementation. So you can specify here. You can select a main method because you are going to implement it, the 100% abstraction. So you guys know abstract means it's kind of an idea. If no one implement that idea, no use of it, right? So what I can do, I can select here an interfaces. I can select interfaces. So let me show you a manual way, then I'll show you from the tool. So let's create this, remove this, then here implements. What is your interface name? Interface demo. Interface demo. If you see here, as soon as I used implements keywords, guys, try to remember, if it is abstract class, if it is a class, we are using extends keyword. If it is an interface, class to interface, we are using implements keyword. So try to remember the difference. So if you are going to implement an interface, it should be implements. If you are going to extend the functionality of your abstract class, you have to use extends. Okay, if your abstract class has a abstract methods, you have to provide a body. The same way here your interface has some abstract methods, so by default they're abstract. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though you didn't specify here public abstract, by default they are abstract. So let's look at what it is trying to say here. So there are some unimplemented methods in your interface. Add unimplement methods. What it is trying to say, your interface has some methods, you try to implement them, provide the body for that. This. So I don't want to provide a body. What is the alternate option, guys? In abstract classes we have seen, I don't want to provide a body for my abstract class. So what was the option was left out to me?
We need to declare this as abstract, declare this class.
Very good. So now here, what it is telling, here also, if either you need to implement it, or if you don't want to implement, you have to declare your class as abstract, right? But anyway, let me show you. So implementation things. So I'm going to add implemented methods, change the configuration. You can do have something. So I'm just going to put some sys out. Okay, I'm not going to do much thing here. Implemented method. Implemented method. Now your parent has something min as a variable. Let's look at how to access that. You can access in your child class because anyway that's a parent. So now your interface act as a parent, right? So you can directly access it. So let's go ahead and run it. No, so 1 second, guys. Control F11. So you can run the class. Look at here. Because I have declared the method, but I have to call this method now. It's not a static method, I can directly call it. So how to create object for it? So create object for this, id equal to new id dot change conf. Here I am from implemented method and the minimum value is 3. So now anyway you are able to access the value from your parent class, right? Let me change it, id dot the min you are able to access. Let's try to change to 100. Let's try to change 100. So what it is telling, the final field interface demo min cannot be assigned. What does it mean? By default this variable is final, even though I didn't declare it, I didn't specify here. So even though if I didn't specify here as a final, by default it will consider as a final. Even though if you didn't specify this as a final, it is declaring as a final. So you cannot change the value of your interface, I mean interface variable. Clear guys? Any doubts? Any doubt? Okay, so let's look at one more interface. Let me take one more interface here. I'm going to create one more interface to demonstrate how to achieve multiple inheritance. So I'm going to create one more interface saying that I'll just take interface 1. So I'm taking interface 1, generate comments. So you can have a display method here. So I'm just creating only display method. So I don't need to write the public abstract and all, right? So I can just write only like this. Save. So let me create an interface implemented demo. Now here I can use comma interface demo interface 1. I can do like this because this interface 1 also has an abstract method. I have to provide a body for that as well. I have to provide a body for that as well. It means if you keep extending or keep implementing your interfaces, how many methods are there in all the interfaces? You have to provide a body for all the interfaces. I mean all the interface methods. Let's assume here you are having something called change conf and you are having some method called display, right? So you need to provide the body for this interface methods as well as this method interface. Okay, if you don't want to provide any of the method for you don't want to implement any of the methods, you need to make your class as an abstract class. So you can look at here, it's supporting multiple inheritance. This method. So you can call that id dot disp as well. Sorry guys, id dot disp as well. I'm from display method. Now let me create one more interface. Now you guys need to answer me. So I'm going to create one more interface. I'm going to create one more interface saying that interface 2 create this. I have here disp. Okay, now in implementation class I'm going to do one more. Now you guys tell me to how many methods I need to how many methods I need to provide the body, because it has one method 1, this has 1, 2, and this has 2. Total 4 methods, right? So now you guys tell me how many methods I need to provide a body. For how many number of methods I need to provide a body? To how many numbers of methods I need to provide a body?
Only 3 methods.
Only 3 methods. Very good. Why?
Two interfaces, there are same methods like this. Same
Yes.
method definition.
So there are two interfaces which has a two method declaration. Not the definition, it's a declaration. So display method. So display method is there in interface 1 as well as in interface 2. You may say that, sir, ambiguity. So can't it be ambiguity? If you remember, sir, you have told us you have told us, let's say class A and class B. This has a print method or display method. Let's take the same example. Disp method, and it also has a disp method. And I'm extending class C. So that time you said, sir, it is not possible because they are classes and it has a disp method and this has a disp method. So when I say C dot disp method here, it is an ambiguity. I mean confusion, which method I need to call. Now, why can't it be an interface? So let's say it is an interface. So interface, it is interface. So now it is now both are interfaces. Now why we don't have ambiguity here? Can anyone tell me? There's interface A, this interface B. Now the C class extended both the interfaces. Now both have a method called disp and disp. So now why can't my C class get an ambiguity? Apart from Sunil, I'm expecting answers from someone else. Why? Do you guys understand what is my question? Do you guys understand my question? Anisha, Ganesh, Harika, Masood, Rohini, Nikesh, Sai. When we are talking about a multiple inheritance, I said multiple inheritance is not supported using classes because of this problem, ambiguity problem. Now, through interfaces, why it is possible? Why it is possible? Don't interfaces will have a same ambiguity? Will it not be having the same ambiguity? If it is not having, how? Can anyone tell me? Anisha, Ganesh, Masood, Saraswati.
Interface, we are unable to, we no need to create the object. Uh,
I mean, no need means it means we can create a.
Not clear.
Okay, the question is, I have interface A and interface B. In interface A, I have a method called disp. And interface B, I have a method called same method, the disp. So the C class C is extended or implemented both the methods. I mean, both the interfaces. Now, when I say C dot disp, my C class, will it face the ambiguity issue or not?
No, it won't face ambiguity issue because we are implementing in the main class whatever we are declaring the interface class.
Mhm.
We won't get an ambiguity problem here.
So in the same class is also same, right? Let's say the A is a class and B also a class.
Okay.
Then why we are getting ambiguity issue in classes?
Classes mean through object we are calling in the classes, but here we are not calling by object. Main class object only we are calling here.
So in classes also we'll call the same way, right, Saraswati? So I have a class A, class B. In a C, what I will do, small c equal to new C. So through object only I'm calling the display method, right? I mean, I'm just trying
This
to
is the
make you more
public
clear about it.
private.
Go ahead, sorry.
We are implementing here classes. We are not extending here.
Mhm.
That too, these are the abstract classes.
Okay, so let me,
These are not
okay, Sunil, you.
inter. We are creating interface. Okay.
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 I understand, Saraswati. Your point is valid, but I just a small thing is missing. So Sunil,
If you take in case of a classes, there may be a chance of two different behaviors in each classes. So
okay,
we're calling it creates ambiguity in which behavior we have to acquire.
okay. So very
So
simple, guys. Very simple. In the classes, you may have a body of the method, right? In the class, you will be having a body of the method. So until unless they are abstract, right? So if you have a class A, class B, both will have a body for the display method. In the child class, when you call C dot display, which method I need to call? Parent A or parent B? Because parent A also defined the method. I mean, body is there, definition is there, and the class B also have a definition. Which definition I need to call? Which definition I need to call? It will get ambiguity. But when it comes to interfaces, you just look at here, there is no body. No body. So you have to provide a body. The child class has to provide the body. The child class has to provide the body, right? So in this case, when you create an object for the child class and we are calling using the child class object, it so no issue at all whether I'm calling a parent A or parent B, because I'm not getting anything from a parent A and also from parent B. I'm not getting any body from any definition from the parent A and any definition from the parent B, but I'm just getting a declaration. I'm getting a definition from implemented class, child class, overridden method. This is overridden method. In the child class, because of I have overridden this, I have a body in the child class, so I'm able to access it. Because you are calling your own, it's like your own method now. It's actually you're getting from the parent, but you have overridden. So all your interface method has to be override. Not only interface methods, your abstract methods as well. Abstract class, abstract methods. In abstract class, if we have abstract methods, those abstract methods also has to be provided body, because they will not be having a definition in the parent class. So why here will not get the ambiguity? Very simple, because your parent has only declaration, no definition. So if they are just declared, no problem whether I'm using a parent A or parent B. That's the only difference. If some definition is there, there may be a chances I may get ambiguity saying that, so whether I need to take a definition of the A or I need to take a definition of the B. Right here you don't have a definitions, you have only declaring the declaration of the methods. So the definition is providing by you, means you mean the sense your implemented class. So when you're calling saying that when you're calling the specific method, you are calling your own method, you are calling your overridden method. Actually you are not calling a parent A or parent B. Clear, guys? Here if you observe this id dot change, which method is getting called? The overridden method. They're ideally like their own methods. They're like their own methods. Those are not came from the parent, but the the definition was from parent. You have overridden the behavior. Now when you say id dot change, this is your own behavior, not your parent behavior, because you are not taking your parent behavior, because you have overridden here in the child class. Now whenever you say id dot change conf, or whenever you say id dot disp or id dot print, it is your own behavior, not your parent behavior. Clear guys? Any doubts? Why? Through interfaces we are able to achieve the multiple inheritance. The only reason is the interfaces will have only the definitions, sorry, declarations. But in the classes there may be a chance, not there may be, you have to. So until unless they are abstract. So through classes you have to provide definition for them. Clear guys? And you may say that let's have abstract classes. Ravi, let me have abstract classes. You may say that, so this is abstract class, this is abstract class. So now in abstract classes the disp method is abstract method. Ravi, now both are only declaration only, no definition is not there, right? Then what? So correct. So at this point that classes does not have a, the classes does not have a body, but the future someone can modify it, someone can give a definition for it, someone can give it. So that openness is there in the classes, where you can have abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods. The door is open, and still even though it's abstract class, still the door is open for to keep a constructors, to keep a public methods, to keep a main method. You have still that the chance is there. But in interfaces you don't have the chance. You cannot keep anything else apart from abstract methods and constants. Is this clear guys? Ganesh, Anisha, Harika, Masood and others?
Yes, Ravi.
Right, so that's the reason. So you can achieve the multiple inheritance using interfaces. Okay, and interfaces can extend multiple inheritance. Not only we just saw the implementation, through implementation we have seen like this, right? There is your interfaces also will support extends, through extends. How it is? Let me create interface 3. Let me create interface 3. 3. I can say, as said, right, you can extend the interfaces through tool. How? Click on add, search for that, select, click OK, and you can add one more, interface 2, select, click OK. You want to add one more, select, interface demo, click OK. So it means you are adding, this is wrong, interceptor. I mean, I don't know what is this interceptor. So this is, you can remove by selecting that. Okay, just say finish. Now look at here, your interface is extending. So you may don't be in a confusion. So only through implements only, we can do multiple interfaces. No, even through extend also you can do. Interface can extend interface. Interface can extend an interface. Not only one interface, it can extend multiple interfaces. Interface 3 is extended interface 1, interface 2, interface 3. And you can have your own methods here. You can have own methods here. At least some return type should be there. Okay, for at least some return type should be there. Now if anyone implemented interface 3, if anyone implemented interface 3, they have to provide a body for interface 1 methods, interface 2 methods, interface 3 methods. So they have to provide a body for all the 4 interfaces. Here you have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have to provide a body for all these 3 interfaces. So let me show you that. Multiple interface test. Let's see. I can take my main method. You can also add here. You can also add here by clicking add. So you can say interface 3. Interface 3. Just say okay. Finish. Now look at here. As soon as you implement it there, you are providing a body for this, you are providing body for this, you are providing body for this. All the methods. You are providing body for all the methods from other interfaces as well. You are providing body for all the interfaces from other interface. Your interface 3 has only one method, but you are providing body for other methods also because this interface extended other interfaces. Your disp, your print, your change, show is from the interface 3, but others are from other interfaces. Clear guys? Any doubts? Ganesh, Harika, I hope you guys are confused. Ganesh, Harika, Masood.
Ravi.
So Ganesh are able to follow?
Yeah, yes, Ravi. Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is about interface. There is a small topic called, let me go to next page. Can anyone tell me what is the marker interface except Sunil? Okay, I know the Sunil has some knowledge about these things. Just want to know marker interface. What is a marker interface? What is a marker interface? What is a marker interface? What is a marker interface, guys? Saraswati,
No idea, Ravi.
Sunil,
Some device means no methods and variables only the HTML.
yeah. So marker interface means a interface which does not have anything. Does not have anything. What Ravi you are telling? An interface which does not have anything. Then what is the use of it? Then what is the use of it? Let's look at marker interface. It means this. Nothing. No method. No body. Nothing. It will not be having anything. It will not be having anything. So a method which does not, our interface which does not have anything, that kind of interfaces we'll call as a marker interface. The usage of marker interface. We cannot create marker interfaces. I mean, you can create a marker interface, but no use of it. There are some default marker interfaces. There are some default marker interfaces. The default marker interfaces are Let me, where is my, yeah, clonable, serializable, random access, remote access. I think it's called remote access. I forgot the interface name, but it's remote access, I hope. Yeah. Remote access. Like this, there are clonable, serializable, random access, remote access. Like this, there are some interfaces which does not have anything. Let's look at guys here. Serializable, you should take from the Java, not from others. You have something in Scala, you have something in other places, but you take from the here. So look at this. But actually it's supposed to show in the class view, but it's not showing. So look at here, it does not have anything. Then what is the use of it? So when you have a marker interfaces, when you implement a marker interface, so let me put this. When you implement a marker interface to your class, this marker interface will tell to your JVM saying that this class has been implemented me. It means this class has some special functionality. If any class implements the marker interfaces, the predefined marker interfaces, it will enable some specific feature for that class. So if you let me give some example. If you clonable, if you go with a clonable, if any class implements a clonable interface, let's say class A implements clonable, you don't need to provide any body for any method. You don't need to provide any method for any, and you don't need to provide, you don't need to override any method. Let me put in that way. Let me show you clonable demo. Let's here. Let's go ahead and add this clonable. Let's finish. Go here. So it is not forcing you to do anything. It is not providing, you don't need to provide a body for any method here. You don't need to provide any method for this. But when you are running this program or when you are compiling this program, your clonable interface will tell to a JVM saying that this class is eligible for the cloning. This class is eligible for the cloning. Cloning means you can create one object from the existing object. We'll talk more about it later. Okay, the same way, serializable. You don't need to provide any body for any method here. You don't need to provide any body for any method. Even you don't need a main method also. It means this class is eligible for serializing. Serializing means converting your object variables into byte stream. We'll talk more about it later. It is enable some functionality for the specific class, and when the class is converting, the class can use some specific, the class has some special feature. Let me put in this way. The class has some special feature. The feature is this class is eligible for the cloning. It means you can create a clone objects. This class is eligible for serializing. Serializing means you can convert object into byte stream. What does it mean? So whatever the examples we have seen last classes, you cannot write that object into a file, or you cannot send that object into other remote server. You cannot send. Objects cannot travel through a network directly. It has to be serialized. We'll talk more about it. Anyway, we are discussing about a big data. So here in the big data in the Hadoop, everything is serialized. Everything, because the data has to traverse through a network. We'll talk more about it later. And some other interfaces, as I said, random access. Random access. Even you don't need to provide anybody for this. This is also one of the example for marker interface. Random access means you can randomly pick. Let's say you have an array list. you have an array. By specifying the index, you can pick the variable. I mean, you can pick the value. I mean, randomly you're picking. Randomly you're picking. Let's say you have 10 elements, 0 to 9 elements. So you can pick any element, 8th element, 7th element, 6th element, whatever the element you want, you can pick. Randomly you're accessing. Randomly accessing. It means if any class implements random access in that objects, collection of objects, you can pick any object randomly. And remote invocation, I think remote, not sure guys, so I need to check this. Remote call or remote, I think remote. Let me check this. Yeah, remote. So this is the interface. You also no need to provide anything. It means now your class is eligible for the remotely access. Remotely access. Okay. So these are the marker interfaces. These are the some of the example for marker interfaces. Clear guys? Any doubts? Any doubts?
So Ravi, if at all if you want to create any classes like any objects for this serialization and all, here itself you have to create. I mean in future, right?
You cannot create
Any
a
changes?
you cannot create an object for the interfaces, right? You cannot create object for all these four. You cannot create. The child class has to create. The child class has to create object. Means see this one, clonable. Let's say if I create a main method here, I have to create object for this. Like this. These are all interfaces. You cannot create object for interface as similar as your abstract classes. As similar as your abstract classes. So we'll discuss tomorrow what is the difference between the abstract and interface, and there is one more feature of your interface that is called loose coupling. Loose coupling. So we will be discussing that example tomorrow. What is a loose coupling? So if you guys remember, we have discussed something called bank example, bank and shape example last class. So the same example we'll see using interfaces that we will see tomorrow. Yep. Any doubts? Any doubts guys? Clear? Ganesh, your doubt is clear?
Yes, Ravi. Yeah, thanks.
So that's it for today. So we will meet tomorrow. And yeah, whoever missed the last classes, right? So Harika, so and Saraswati, so you guys go through the videos which I have shared, and Saraswati, you ping me your email ID, so I'll also share the last classes, the what are the classes has been missed. Okay, the recorded sessions are there. I'll share those recorded sessions. Yep.
Okay, Ravi.
Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.